Hello, and welcome back aboard the night train for the kind of planned, kind of unplanned part 2 of looking back over the last 10 years of my channel for the 10th anniversary to see basically all of the things that I've done over the years. Last time I spent, God knows, almost an hour, perhaps over an hour, I've not edited it yet, but just talking about Far Cry Yards, giving some commentary on the episodes, some behind the scenes insights, and a brief overview of some of the episodes that I wrote but never made. Also, cat on my lap, so that is what my hand is doing. I'm not doing anything naughty, YouTube. Don't you worry. Say hello, Reef. Hello? Okay. But yes, what happened during my tenure of recording and making Far Cry Yards was I got invited to join the Thomas Creator Collective. That's not run for a good few years now, so if that's a new thing to you, for the 75th anniversary of Thomas, for the 70th anniversary of Thomas back in 2015, the creators on YouTube sort of were pulled together to create official content for the Thomas and Friends YouTube channel. These were original stories, episodes using merchandise, custom models, anything and everything pretty much from the history of Thomas, merchandise and characters, to, you know, celebrate the show and what people like to do as fans. From there it was massively successful and sort of morphed into this product placement, unofficial advertisement engine, which was kind of sad to see. It wasn't what a lot of people signed up for. But, you know, it was an opportunity to work with the brand, for the brand, on official content for the official YouTube channel. So it was an intriguing opportunity. Today I just thought I'll go through a little bit about how I became involved in that, what work I did for them, what perhaps didn't make the final cuts or wasn't shared on the official channel in the end, why I stepped away, and I guess also how it impacted my plans for my own personal channel as well, because those changed quite drastically as a result of my involvement with the TCC. So yeah, at the time the TCC was running, this would have been, what, early 2016? I started my Far Cry Yard series in December of 2015, so both of these things have sort of been running in tandem for about 4 months. And I saw on Facebook, Enterprising Engine 93, who is a massive and awesome Thomas channel, working with Wooden Railway. They wanted a HO00 gauge custom BoCo model for one of their upcoming episodes. And lo and behold, I had just finished making a custom model of BoCo. So I got in touch, said, hey, I've got one, what do you want it for? And they saw the model, they were really impressed with it, and they used it for the filming, and it performed very well. They decided to use BoCo a little bit more in future episodes, but wanted to keep me around to make more custom characters to include in the episodes. This was the year that the Great Race was going to come out, and there was a lot of international engines that were being featured, having merchandise made, and they wanted some HO gauge models of them in order to use alongside some of the Backman models that other creators were using, like the Train Modeler, I think he was the main one, Caleb Train as well, though because they were US based and I wasn't, they didn't really get many of my customs to use. So I sort of became their prop builder, I guess, for no lack of a better word. So they would give me a new character to make, and it was my job to go out and find a way to make it. And with the Great Race, these were all wacky foreign prototypes that didn't necessarily have a model of them available for me to use as a basis to just repaint. So I had to begin thinking outside of the box to craft these things, and let's just say it was a challenge, a fun challenge, like a how hard can it be challenge. So that was sort of my doorway in, and the first engine I made for the TCC was Yongbao, the Chinese tiger decaled engine, bright red, massive smoke deflectors. these things also had to be made to a deadline. So this was not just modelling on the side, this was we want this model and we need it for this date to film this. Yeah, they covered the cost of the models, the paints, everything, with a little bit extra on top to account for the time it takes to make these things. And I put Yongbao together. I had to use an American prototype engine. I had to re-level and raise the running board. I had to make smoke deflectors. I had to make the bulge atop the smoke box and the boiler. Had to print out and add the decals, paint the wheels. It was a project unto itself. They were actually really impressed with what I did. They said, "You've pulled that off far better than we thought could be done." So Yongbao was then popped into the post, went and used in the filming of TCC episodes. Yeah, Yongbao was sort of my doorway in. Unfortunately, he was then destroyed by the Postal Service, who would not reimburse us at all because it was a custom product without a receipt. So Yongbao ended up in pieces in the world of Sodor's drawer. And yeah, don't have him anymore. I made Frida as well, who I've since sold on because I just had no purpose for Frida. She was a lot simpler. She was a German engine that you could just buy. I think it was a Fleischmann model I used for Frida. Give her a quick repaint, give her a quick face, job done. The one that gave me the most trouble was Raoul, the Sentinel with a raised cab. This was a metal kit I had to make, and these things are meant to take months to years for a proper fine-scale modeler to build properly. I had a couple of months max, and I had to design and build a whole new cab because he had a raised cab compared to what the kit had. Had to build the chassis, roll the correct shape for his body, all the foreign detailing, the foreign livery, the wasp stripes. Raoul missed the deadline. I did what I could. We got the main shape of the body done. I built the cab out of balsa wood instead of metal. But we just could not get him to run properly, the gears to mesh, the motion underneath or anything. So he was just left as a free-rolling model. And on top of that, he wasn't even used. He was used in one cutaway scene at the end of an episode for less than 30 seconds, and then was never used again. So Raoul was a pain in my backside. I sold him on as soon as the TCC wrapped up. He was a challenge too far, I think. I think the model from my TCC days I'm most famous for is Vinny. Vinny was not officially financed by the TCC, but they were so impressed with how he looked and how robust he proved that they wanted to use him for filming. They used Vinny, he proved incredibly popular on the channel, and they kept him. They basically rented him from me for a fee, kept extending that because he kept proving so popular. They put him in thumbnails, and Vinny became their sort of little star child kind of by accident. I again used, I think it was a GS4, another US engine for him. Modified the tender by cutting a big chunk of the body off and replacing it with a shovel handle covered in filler and plastic hard and ladders and things. And then I also had to mould the front of his face, which was difficult. That was all done out of balsa wood to try and get the right curvature. And then I also needed to enlarge his face, which involved rounds of latex moulds dipped in naphtha, made to expand, and then used to make casts of the face, which were then painted. So Vinny was a very unconventional model for me to work on, but the results for him were so worth it compared to the likes of Raoul. And that is part of the reasons why he ended up getting a starring role in The Magic Within as well. Vinny is, I think, the only custom I made from the TCC that I've actually kept. Again, he's got his own issues. He's a split axle model, so his axles have a tendency to just split when he's on the track. He also accidentally took a face dive to the floor year before last, which I've had to do repairs. Thankfully, his face was intact. That would have been really difficult to do as I have none of those supplies anymore. But yeah, Vinny's still knocking around upstairs, but doesn't run as much or as well as he used to. I'll have to see to that. But yeah, no, my TCC work after that carried on. I was tasked with making Hugo. Hugo, the metallic dildo on wheels. Sorry. The metallic hot dog on wheels. Yeah. With a face on the end and a propeller on the other end. Hugo, again, I managed to just get a model of. But what we didn't realise at the time when we bought it was that he was an AC-powered model. And all the other Thomas models, you know, run on DC track. Oh. Off goes the cat. But yeah, so Hugo required a lot of electronic work, I think, compared to actual cosmetic work. I had to swap out his propeller at the end from a 2-blade to 4-blade, or 4-blade to 2-blade, I can't remember. I think it was 4-blade to 2-blade. But yes, in order to get him to actually work on the track, because the TCC wanted a working propeller, I had to strip out his main powered bogie motor so that he would be free rolling, get rid of the AC motor, and I rewired in pickups and the motor for the propeller to run on DC so that at least the propeller could work on the track, and then he'd just have to be pulled on good old fishing line. Hugo was just a pain. He was so metallic all over, it was really difficult to get the paint straight and matte and for it not to look messy. So he's another one that I sold on fairly quickly. And then my final tenure with the TCC was Journey Beyond Sodor. That, well, for the Great Race I could find some of the prototypes as models. Journey Beyond Sodor just took everything up to 11. All the new engines were experimental. You just couldn't get hold of them. The easiest was Merlin, who I just used 2 sections of straw to make 2 makeshift funnels and gave the 460, I can't remember, is it a King Arthur class or an N15? One of the two. I just gave it a repaint. And for Theo, I revisited my method of making Fergus. I used an Oxford die-cast road-going traction engine, built a cab like I did for Raoul, stuck on a buffer beam, and added a load of what were really just floating gears on his side to give the illusion that he had these external gears all over. So Theo actually was the best of the bunch when it came to the Journey Beyond Sodor engines. Now, the one that the TCC really wanted to use was Hurricane. And I did get a Decapod kit for a pretty pricey amount. And they wanted me to make that within a 6-month period, ready for filming. The kit suggested that the build time would be 2 years. 24 months. You can see how that one went. We got the boiler together, we got the cab together, we got the chassis together. But getting all the wheels in, all the axles in, all the bearings in, all the coupling rods on and working flush with the motor worm gear all in alignment was an effing nightmare. Everything seized up, it was not free moving. It was such a pain in the backside. It got to the 6-month mark, nothing was painted, it wouldn't even roll. So I just had to be frank and honest and said that I couldn't do it. They would have to find something else. Was it the World of Sodor, or was it somebody else? They eventually just converted was it a Gordon or a Henry into a muck-up Hurricane using a shortened boiler that looked close enough, but not quite what we were hoping for. That managed to fill in at relatively short notice. But yeah, that's the one that got away. Raoul, I managed to get into a rolling state, but Hurricane was just a complete lost cause. And I sold that partially completed kit on as well. By this point, I'd been with the TCC for about 1.5 years. April 2016 to I think it was September 2017. So after all the Journey Beyond Sodor stuff was made, I just sort of said, right, I'm done. I need to focus on my university studies. I had my own channel ambitions that had been parked while TCC stuff was focused on, which is why there was such a delay in the Magic Within getting started. There had also been a lot of behind-the-scenes drama at that point, and a lot more of, let's say, corporate I'm going to choose my language carefully here, corporate meddling and mandating of what we were to use, not use, in terms of characters, products, things like that. So it was getting very messy, very tense, and a lot less enjoyable. The key creators that were sort of spearheading the production week upon week, because everything was to be filmed, edited, and released within a week, they did an absolutely fantastic job of firefighting the feelings of those doing a lot of the work and the corporate heads, shall we say. They tried to have our corner the best they could, but budgets became increasingly strained. Some people showed less than professional behaviour. I'm not going to name names, it's been years, we don't need to dig all that up. But for peace of mind, for my own personal studies and goals, I just had to leave it behind and return to being just an audience member. We left on amicable terms. They were all just a great bunch of people, really talented creators who have gone on to do great things since then. And yeah, it was just a little bit sad, I guess, to see something that started off as a fan celebration devolve into pretty blatant corporate advertising towards the end. That's no ill will towards the people that were making the things, that's to do with the people that were mandating what was to be included and promoted. It's Mattel, what more do I need to say? So, yeah, that was the TCC, but what it did do was leave me with a massive catalogue of characters and props and things to use. And before we go into that, I'm actually going to just cover a few bits I did for the TCC on the side, a few bits that didn't quite make it. We really tried to capitalise on some of the, shall we say, opportunities that arose. While at university, I got to go out into the Rocky Mountains, so I took a couple of props with me to film a little bit of footage to show Thomas around the world, characters just doing fun, slice of lifey kind of things. So Wooden Thomas, Wooden Diesel 10, Wooden BoCo all got to go up Mount Sulphur in the Rocky Mountains near Banff, and to, I think it was Lake Agnes as well, near Lake Louise. A lot of that was just cut and never used. I don't think this was ever put into an actual episode. But I've got a couple of stills of the photos I took. I did get some weird looks being as hot this tourist attraction and just getting some trains out and photographing them. Some people thought it was a bit sad because, you know, they're small-minded individuals. But a couple of people understood I was technically being paid to do this, so a job's a job. Don't shirk at it. Don't shirk it, pretty much. I got to do a few other fun little bits. I've got an IMDb page now that puts me down as director because I filmed the odd scene, but I'm really not one of those. Yeah, the TCC, I think it really did help my channel get some additional exposure. It really helped the Magic Within sort of get publicised, and I did start hyping that up and releasing episodes. But before then, I encountered a little bit of an issue. You see, I had scripted the Magic Within, I knew what characters I was going to use. Vinny was one of them in an antagonistic role, as you saw in the final cut. But because his tenure of being rented out to the TCC kept getting extended and extended and extended, my shooting schedule kept getting delayed and pushed back and delayed again because he wasn't back when I was expecting him to. So there was only so many episodes I could record and finish and edit together. I had to then find a way to make some sort of stopgap content to fill my channel before I could get the Magic Within released with a consistent release schedule. So I wrote an entirely different fan film about BoCo. And if you've been on my channel, you've seen this is one of the best performing videos that I've ever made. It's still, to this day, in the top 3 best performing videos on my channel each week, each month. For some reason, people just keep coming back to it, keep discovering it, keep watching it, and it's going strong. There you go, my stopgap content is the one that's still going strong, strongest today. And the whole point of BoCo was to dive into a character, give him a bit of a backstory, recontextualize sort of what he means, what his path has been, some of the events from the Railway series itself, and, you know, just give BoCo a little bit more meat, a little bit more love, and everybody seems to just lap that up, and it's gone down really well. It pulled on real Class 28 workings, real issues, pulled in other engines from Railway series canon as well to flesh things out. We got returning faces like D261 and Green Arrow, and real locations. I tried to model Barrow Station, Barrow-in-Furness, which we saw in the Railway series, using a couple of available repainted buildings and things like that. So it was an interesting project. I think it was the longest video I'd ever done to date by that point, about 45 minutes. I roped in a couple of university friends to help as well. Shall we give it a quick watch and see how it holds up today? I think so. There we go, my 3rd most viewed video on the channel with 132,000 views. 8 years ago this came out. Oh yeah, I had Enterprising Engine 93 as the narrator, and he said he had a fantastic time doing this. He's a big fan of BoCo as well.
Diesel traction was becoming more popular on the other railway under their modernization plan, despite the Fat Controller's engines not trusted.
This was BoCo's The Adventure Begins, that's what it was. Oh, that green coach and the military shunter that was meant for my brother. I forgot I included those. Will Champion, who voiced BoCo for the TCC, did the voice here as well. He was a good choice. Yeah, they did work on the Peak District, and that was my usual route for commuting to and from uni, so it was rather fitting. Okay, this is a little bit nerdy. This is a little bit show off your research.
Yes, let's get to work.
His driver fired up his engine and BoCo purred out of the shed.
Oh, my warped Hatton's wagon. I got that for £2. Oh, and Bradford as well. I forgot I had Bradford at this point. The Diesel theme. Oh, that's great.
He sauntered easily.
Ooh, Paxton on the mainland.
He waited for another train to take back to Derby.
Would they have known that by that point? I don't know.
A clumsy little shunter finally got it ready. BoCo was impressed by how the little engine could push such a heavy train.
Paxton, yeah. Clumsy indeed.
Thank you. I'm not fast, but I can push trucks here, there, and here again, I guess.
The little shunter trundled off. BoCo knew he was much bigger.
He is that strong.
I do love Paxton. He's the best 08 in the entire show.
But his new train was much heavier than the last. Effort. The route was different. And this time,
Oh, my massive 8x4 foot grass mat.
he started up it, but
That's
began to
basically the space I had to work with.
for the first time.
You are strong.
Oh yeah, slanted camera to give the illusion of hills. Do you like that? It's kind of a train spotter kind of camera angle.
He reached the yard again. All his brothers
That was
stood
for budget reasons. I could only afford one more additional Kobo. Good old timestamps.
BoCo had been in service for just over a year now, fire countryside, and now pulled passengers.
Not sure if those Midland coaches would have been in use in 1959. I thought they would have gone by then. Error on my part, hand up.
And noisy engines. And didn't
That's
think
my
it was particularly
dad's Ive at 2MT having a cameo there, again out of period.
Then
Should have been in BR livery, if anything. I have one of those now, though. Can't change it.
We're heading down to Cricklewood Sheds to spend the night there.
The condor.
Tomorrow.
What's the condor? Is it
It's a bird.
or goods train? I know my way around both now.
It's short for container door-to-door.
I do actually have quite a lot of custom
Running from London Hendon
conflat containers now, so I could make a better condor, probably.
just what modern engines
Oh well.
do.
A5710 won't start. He's having engine trouble. The train has to run with the double header. I'll get 2 Black 5s to fill in.
I'm sure I'll manage just fine. This is meant to be a prestigious train showing off modern diesels. I can still pull that off.
Isn't it true the trains have been getting shorter and lighter in recent months?
They have, but I'm not sure if they're light enough for one Kobo alone, given their track record.
No, we can do it. I've never failed a freight train before.
Fine.
Almost.
We'll give it a
Almost
go,
did.
But I won't be surprised if you need help.
and the foreman left.
You have come close to overheating before.
Yeah, there it is.
That was before I'd fully flexed all my parts. I'll be fine.
If you insist.
Oh, there's the back end of Daisy's DMU.
Condor. He tried to pull away, but the train was much heavier.
Or was that the middle coach?
than he had pulled before.
Fine.
BoCo replied stubbornly.
See, if that was a TCC, Philip would be screaming Mrs. Cow.
To a hole.
I did not like that running gag.
We can't stop here. That breaks Rule 55.
Oh, yeah. Rule 55.
Help?
We know Rule 55 very well.
BoCo agreed in embarrassment and got the signalman to phone up the line to Tinsley Yards. They agreed to send an engine, confused by why the
Ah,
Condor
Tinsley.
with just one,
Yeah,
making BoCo
I know Tinsley.
even more foolish.
Or where it used to be.
Nor did it help that a steam engine turned up to help him.
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow here to assist.
Complete with a Tommy Oliver face repainted.
The other engine.
Again, out of period livery on him, but
All to prove how
yeah, I couldn't get everything 100% right on the budget I had, which was basically zero.
One of the most important lessons a young engine can learn early is fail fast. The sooner you accept failure, the easier it is to rectify.
Imparted wisdom. From steam to diesels, definitely the right way around.
Or burning out.
Yes. And now I know my own limits.
We'll finish this prestigious train together.
What happened to the black fires they had on standby?
Myself back
Hmm.
in the day. Let's show.
Oh, derailed there because I couldn't control them separately.
Green Arrow
Off they go.
BoCo in pulling the train to begin with. The train soon began to pick up speed again, going much faster than BoCo could manage on his own. And BoCo,
God, you can't tell I only had like 8 feet to film this in, can you?
when they reached
When they're running like that, at least.
thanked Green Arrow for his help. BoCo was back in Cricklewood after
Oh,
his
another LMS engine out of place. I just had to use what my dad had.
He and his brother, D5705,
There's the Kobo I bought.
T, just like his freight.
Technically they should be in the same livery, but
He finally
BoCo was already painted. I couldn't afford a second Kobo.
but his drive
Only D5705.
was still a
Which I
road.
still hope to see working one day. Check out the appeal that's currently up for a new engine. Go on.
Wandered into their yard. Only
You
3
can tell this was a big project and it's not quite as cleanly produced as I would have hoped it would be.
more bad news. The new
Yay! Snow green screen.
remained at the works. They had no
That was me reusing the
automatic Crossley engine.
Diesel Works set I built for the Magic Within.
They couldn't fix
Piece of kind. You may as well go the same way as the steam engine.
It's my custom-made Class 40 for the Magic Within,
What does that mean?
They're being withdrawn.
with a cast of the Hornby face,
We
at
will
least.
always the future, and our full potential has been realized. You
He never ran very well, but I've given him a service and he runs much better nowadays.
to sweep you under the rug. There are newer diesels who are far more reliable than your kind. Your
out of the way, where few people can see you.
So we are embarrassing. So much
The Class 28s did have a very
You're both of you.
prejudiced
Come on,
history,
let's
haven't
go
they?
revolutionize those branch lines.
I guess that's why I saw so much character potential here.
And the others arrived in Cumbria and began working the lines from Barrow.
That's a nice looking set.
As
That's probably one of the
beautiful as
best looking
countryside
ones
was,
out of this so
he
far.
felt his work getting stale as the months dragged on.
Boat.
Problems than you used to.
My writing has improved so much as well. There's so many dud phrases in this.
A few months at Barrow turned into a year. A year turned into 2, and then into 3 with no
Okay, those are
change.
some pretty nice transitions that I've done there.
It was so much less enjoyable and more depressing when he heard a whistle.
That wasn't God.
That's a great introduction for Gordon. I had some directive flair. At least, some.
Who was that? I thought most.
Ooh. Foreshadowing much. Okay, yeah, this is definitely getting better as it goes on.
Luck changed was exciting.
An element of luck to BoCo's fate. Sometimes that's just how it is.
Finally, a good long run. I can see exactly what Sodor is like.
BoCo set off for Sodor.
Bit of a sticky wagon there, wasn't there? Rusty to the rescue callbacks, right? That's what that was.
Maybe they thought found it.
Floating hedge. Whoopsies. That's that crane again from Stroudley.
BoCo arrived at Brendan Docks and dropped off his trucks. But he didn't know where to collect his next train. They found some trucks of China clay and a
This just
couple of sidings.
recontextualizes all of the diseasel.
These must be them.
BoCo was coupled up to them, but he didn't
We all know what happens, but from the other side of things.
Feel right.
track.
The CG hiding can for accuracy. Oh my god. This is how nerdy I was as a Thomas person.
His driver checked him thoroughly.
Still am, to be fair.
and found the broken pipe.
You've split a fuel pipe.
BoCo was so deep in thought.
Here we
he
go.
didn't notice a small satellite
Cross-eyed
pull up next to him.
Bill.
The engine
Yeah.
whistled loudly.
Yeah, the eye mechanism broke. I'm so glad I replaced his face.
Do you mind?
Oh, and now we're going shot for a remake with what I had.
BoCo found the engine rather rude. Perhaps the rudest steam engine he had ever met.
These are mine. Go away.
The engine pretended to be frightened.
You're a big bully.
He whimpered.
You'll be sorry.
BoCo rolled his eyes as the engine reversed away. Then, the yellow engine appeared immediately on BoCo's other side.
Truck stealer.
This is such an iconic episode. I'm so glad I had this idea, even if it was just to recreate this bit.
This went on until BoCo's eyes nearly popped out.
Stop! You're making me giddy!
A gentleman in a top hat slipped out from behind the blue engine with BoCo's driver.
And this is where we get into new canon territory. Well, in my head at least, head canon territory.
Because indeed, how extraordinary.
Felt better
Yeah.
than he
This at least allowed me to make use of some of the Magic Within sets that I already had made to film on.
How do you
The ones that didn't require Vinny or...
than I've ever been?
yeah.
Grateful doesn't sum up how ecstatic I
Or shoddy workmanship that was causing all the problems. A lot of your parts were carelessly made and fitted together. On your railway, no one wanted to pay for all these parts to be replaced properly.
Oof, that's a slight at British Rail, isn't it?
Here, my engines come first.
Or a Metropolitan Vickers.
Installed them, and now that you're in proper working
humming nicely
Hang
in
on.
the yard when
Does
a
his driver live here now as well? What's he gonna do?
surprise.
Just abandon him?
But the panty
Yeah, my writing has really improved. Not that you've seen much of it since then. Since the Magic Within anyway.
Oh my. Goodness me, yes. Edward is
Now we're into the bees.
You know, I sometimes call them the bees.
a good name.
What's that, Duck? Are you
This is where I started to bend the canon a little bit, just to try and get everything to mesh together.
will tell you different.
His name is BoCo, and he didn't. We.
I wouldn't care.
It wasn't long before the Fat Controller returned.
James was due to take the express.
Why is he spinning?
Accident with,
Why was he spinning?
BoCo and Duck found it hard to refrain from laughing.
I don't know.
BoCo, could you cover his train?
There we go.
Pulled up in front
The Napford Junction set from Farquhar Yards.
about taking a passenger train, but noticed his exhaust fumes were nowhere near as thick as before his repairs. The passengers got in quickly, and BoCo pulled away.
Ah, look at the little Northwestern poster as well.
Letting branch line diesels for main
See,
line
that line makes a lot more sense now that you've got the context of BoCo's history.
That would make it quite fair.
Gordon spluttered furiously.
I won't pull BoCo's dirty truck.
Wrong road coming up.
Why not? It would be a nice change.
The Fat Controller would never approve. Eh? I'd like to see him handle Bill and Ben.
Foreshadowing.
So would I.
The next morning,
Hey, it's the can.
some trucks from Wellsboro and headed down.
Oh, if only we got a can in scale.
When he arrived at the docks, he was surprised to see Gordon and
Oh,
his
Gordon's
son
got his crooked bogey. That is show accurate.
Ben.
No, Bill. This lot's useless for scrap. We'll take it to the harbor and dump it in the sea.
Gordon was alarmed
I am Gordon. Stop, stop.
Ooh, little facial animation. Not many of those in this.
and saw BoCo.
That's because I was just too tall in order.
brought him the most beautiful sight he had ever seen.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
BoCo, my dear engine, save me.
They realized he wasn't a
Oh,
diesel
Thomas gets only the briefest cameo in this.
been in a similar situation.
I've got a lot of self-control compared to Hit and Mattel.
However, he did what he was
Paintwork's very neon in this colour grading.
James
Not sure why.
respectfully silent.
But pulling a fast one when we're not looking. Just like
Oh,
the
yeah.
last one.
Not
This was a little bit of a gap in Railway series. We never saw them
Donald broke
get used to
down.
diesels per se. A little bit of parallel.
Heavy train over Gordon's
This is a nice little
so BoCo
parallel bit of storytelling, isn't it? Everything's coming full circle.
neither twin was happy.
Where's Edward? This diesel's got a faulty engine. That much we know about him.
That's been fixed.
BoCo looked at the heavy train and the hill and remembered his
Flashback
visit
time
to
again.
Hill all those years ago.
Let's see if I'm truly fixed.
BoCo buffered up and used all his might.
Okay.
And soon, the twin
Okay, I can
flew
see
away
why this still
down
proves to be
the
such a
hill.
popular video. It is very well rounded, both as a story,
Warm,
original, retelling, or otherwise.
and he didn't feel out of
It's like a really extended classic series episode.
mentally that he ever had been. Back in
The day I light a diesel is the day I run dry with a full tank of water. That'll never happen. Exactly.
Unfortunately for James, the cold reception he gave
Oh, CGI icicles.
by a cold snap
Uh,
that came a few days
And again, exactly the same formation.
Everything was held in an
Oh,
ice
the Farquhar Yards cameo.
the country
Nice.
was frozen hard. Trees were white.
Oh, that's a throwback, isn't it, to the classic series?
Low bridges and water columns.
Oh yeah, I had to repaint the face on my Ertl Trevor, didn't I?
Thank goodness.
Shivered James's driver. Engines have a tap called an ejector.
Oh, zoomed in
Water from the
close-up model. That was the easiest way to kind of get it consistent, I guess.
The boiler would run dry and not make enough steam.
The problem.
Nothing. Just a temperamental injector.
Very quick nothing.
I see. Duck will take your coaches and continue the journey, and I'll shunt you to the works.
Yes, I definitely see why that is still so popular. It's... that's the kind of stuff I can do when it's just meant to be a filler. What am I doing? Anyway, that was BoCo. That took up most of my 2017. That was 8 years ago. Wow. And yeah, after that, the Far Cry Yards layout itself actually went and was displayed at the Weymouth Model Railway exhibition that July, I think it was. So that was a fun event. A lot of the older folk really didn't like it, but it had some quite nice, let's just say, surrounding decor as well. And Murdoch got placed next to Vinny as well, just to show how massive Vinny was. So that was all a really fun event, getting to show off the models, I guess, in person as opposed to just uploading to YouTube. Ah, that's great. So, yeah, that was BoCo. One of my most popular videos ever, still going strong somehow. I mean, maybe people are coming back to it for nostalgia, maybe discovering it new. Let me know if this is a comfort video for you or if you've never seen it before. I'm really interested. Well, Bonfire Night put a quite effective curfew on my filming this evening, so here I am back again after watching BoCo. And yeah, that was a quick rundown of, well, 18 months when the TCC condensed into like 18 minutes, and some of my thoughts, recollections and reflections on BoCo as an entire project, I guess. And this has taken me almost an hour again, if not more, so I'm going to save looking at Soda All the Magic Within and devote another third video to going through that, showing you some more behind the scenes stuff, cut plot lines, give all the episodes a bit of a rewatch as well, and yeah, just have a little bit more of a casual chat about it, because I've not done that in a while, if ever. So, thank you again for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next 10th anniversary retrospective. Take care.